Hi, everybody. I'm Kyler Rivera. I'm a senior at NC State, majoring in zoology. And yeah, I decided to do my Snapshot USA research project on does temperature affect behavior in wild boars? Yeah. So first, I just want to ask everyone, how do y'all react to hot days compared to cooler days? Yeah, for example, like on a 97-degree hot summer day, I do not want to be outside. I want to be inside playing video games, reading, taking naps. Yeah, but compared to like a cool fall day, I'd rather be outside playing sports, going hiking. Yeah, but I would rather be outside on a cooler day compared to a hot summer day. Yeah, and I think the same thing goes with animals. So I decided for my research question, I wanted to do, does warmer areas in the United States affect the wild boar's daily behavior patterns? Yeah, so my hypothesis for this was that wild boars will have a lower activity rate during midday in warmer areas compared to cool areas. And in warmer areas, also wild boars will have a higher activity rate in dusk dawn times compared to wild boars in cool areas. And yeah, so my methods for this was first I compared 50 different sub-projects from the Snapshot USA project in 2023. And then yeah, I divided that 50 sub-projects into two, and then 25 of those sub-projects were the lowest temperature, and then 25 other sub-projects were the ones with the highest temperature. And yeah, and then I decided to choose a species to analyze the detection times. And in this case, I chose the wild boar to detect because I love wild boars. And yeah, I just wanted to compare the graphs from we got from that and just compare their activity and detection rates between the coldest sub-project sites and the hottest sub-project sites. And yeah, this is our results from that. So yeah, this is the results from the colder temperatures. We see that the wild boar is most active at midnight. We see that is his peak activity time. We see, yeah, both midnight is where the wild boar was most active. And yet, as we go from midnight to midday, we see the activity rate declines, and midday is definitely the lowest point of activity for the wild boar. And yet, we see at dusk and dawn is there's still a lot of activity, but yeah, definitely peak activity is midnight. Yeah, so this is the results for the hotter temperature areas. We see that, yeah, way different from the colder temperature sites. We see that dusk and dawn is the peak sites, peak activity time. In this graph, we see also that midnight is not as high as the other graph. And yeah, midday it seems like there's no detection points. There's one detection point and there's really no activity midday in the hotter areas for the wild boars. Yeah, so here's the side-by-side comparison. We see, yeah, in the hotter temperatures, like I said, midnight compared to midnight and colder temperatures, there's a big difference. I think colder temperatures, wild boars are more active by at least 1 point of frequency. And yet, and also in hotter temperatures, we see that the wild boars were most active at dusk and dawn. And yet it's higher dusk and dawn compared to the colder temperatures. And yeah, also that another thing that stood out was, yeah, in the hotter temperatures, wild boars were inactive at daytime. Like I said, there was only one detection, but the rest was really inactive compared to colder temperatures where there was a couple of detection rates, and we see that the wild boars there were active, but not as active, but they were active midday. Yeah, so conclusions for this is that warmer areas are causing animals such as the wild boars to change their daily behavior patterns from midday to dusk dawn. Yeah, I think we've seen like in the hotter temperature graphs that the wild boar was inactive midday, but was more active at dusk and dawn. And compared to the cooler temperature areas, we see that the wild boar was active midday, but its peak activity was midnight. But yeah, also animals and another conclusion is that animal in cooler areas are more active midday compared to animals in hotter areas. And that was, supported by the graphs we've seen that in cooler areas, wild boars were more significantly more active midday compared to the wild boars in hotter areas. And yeah, another thing I wanted to add was just how will this affect predator-prey relationships? Will predator-prey relationships correlate, or will one be more active still be active midday while the other one moves to be more active dusk and dawn? Yeah, I just want to wonder, just kind of wondering how will this affect that, and yeah, that'll be a cool project to do, and yeah, that'll be something I'd like to do in the future. Yeah, so yeah, thank y'all for watching. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this presentation and got something out of it.